I haven't got any circus skills at all. I can't juggle, I can't throw the knife at the lady, I can't tame the lion, and I can't crack the whip or jump into the small bucket. Can't do any of those things.
The thing that excites me about performing is that it's a release of any tensions that you might have inside you.
Ooh. I'm not sure whether it does excite me anymore, it's just the money.
It does me. The thing that excites me about performing really is the fact that you're doing something good, you're making people laugh.
Except the ones that walk off.
Except the ones that walk off, and, you know.
It's a kind of two-way thing, seeing people enjoy and just connecting with them, you know what I mean? I kind of like that about it, really.
You've got to communicate with the audience, but not to look at them, because you are apart from them, and it will break the illusion.
I normally try and interact with an audience, but with 800 it becomes really difficult. But I actually think I managed. And that's an amazing feeling to just see that you're making an impact.
Like I was doing a job in Brighton recently, and then had a real buzz about it. And then I was in Suffolk or somewhere like that, doing an agricultural show, and people had come to look at the cows.
I had to stand on one leg and do a raspberry, go arse over, what's it, in front of 250 people. And I bonked my head. I thought it was a goner. And I heard them, as I hit the floor, go, and it was weird because it took off. I just flew. And I was just so embarrassed. I was like, no, I'm fine, just get back on, I'm fine.
We spent a huge amount of time when we were on the road exercising. We would stay up all night long practicing our handstands. We used to spend hours balancing and tumbling and helping each other learn tricks and use our bicycles, that sort of thing.
I can do nothing like that. I can't even juggle.
Well, can I? I juggle with two things, but not with three.
That's not really juggling, is it?
No, it's chucking stuff up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apart from doing a bit of stretching, a bit of yoga, trying to get my foot behind my neck and stuff like that, you know, just to kind of loosen the old gizzard areas. Everyone used to get down and do bang out 20, drop and give me 20. So we used to do that. And then all stick our knuckles together like loads of bravado-y kind of, you know, blokey business, and put your knuckles together, you know, things like that, really, yeah.
You need to warm all those areas up, your body, and then moving on to your voice. And I start to hum, a kind of there's opening your voice and going, you know,
many men, many men, many men, men, many men, many men, many men, men.
In tooting two tutors astute, try to toot to a duke on a flute.
Paba à moi, tadala rigor.
That kind of thing, you know, it's all kind of croaking out. But it opens up your voice, it relaxes and strengthens your vocal cords, it warms everything up.
I don't find the clowns funny. I do begrudge them coming on. I find it quite insulting.
No, what I enjoy about clowns, I think they're very talented actually, because when clowns get together at the circus, they can do things that are very funny, like they can throw custard pies at each other and things in a very funny way to make a lot of people laugh, and you have to be very talented to be able to do that. You have to be an entertainer.
No, oh my goodness, no way. They're so horrible. They're really frightening, and I think a lot of people are scared of clowns.
And they're very funny, actually.
If it's badly done, it can be very sad.
Oh, it's totally embarrassing. Yeah, I don't like clowns.
It doesn't work out. You feel pity for them, and that's so awful.
Clowns are creepy, aren't they? They're not funny at all. They're just weird.
don't look like they're happy. You know, the way they're painted smiles and their hair. And I don't like the music, that that horrible roundabout music with, clowns aren't not my...
Slapstick just isn't funny, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? A car falling apart and somebody falling over. It's like...
The one I first saw when I was a little kid was called Doodles. Yes, I like the clowns. I like slapstick.
One of the things we least like about what we do is
working with each other.
Yeah. You're constantly having to travel with each other, work with each other, be creative.
Do interviews.
Do everything together.
If there aren't a few butterflies around in the tummy before you go on stage, you're probably not going to give a good performance. You've got to be keyed up.
You'd think after all this time I wouldn't, but yes, I still do. I still freak out and panic and fear, the audience reaction to me, and then I get over it.
You feel sick sometimes. But as soon as I go on stage, I think, well, this is it. I can't turn back now. I'm on. Oh, God, here comes the light. The light's going up. Inside, the real me is saying, oh, my God. Here we go. Why am I doing this? I love it when I'm doing it. I know I love it when I'm doing it, but why am I doing it? I'm glad I didn't have too much to eat.
We did a show a couple of years ago, and 8,000 kids saw it in a week. We had about 1,000 kids per performance. And the kids were like, they were 8 or 9, screaming blue murder. Oh, I've never been so scared in all my life. I must be stupid. And you get out there, and you look out and you think, they're just loving it. And they're completely engrossed in what you're doing.
It's knowing that whatever I take on to perform in front of the audience, actually, it comes through me. It's something that I take on, and it just kaboom.
Every time I went on, I could just feel the people laughing at me. It was fantastic. That gives me such a buzz. Such a hell of a buzz.
We turned down Freddie Starr, didn't we?
We turned down Freddie Starr.
Freddie Starr couldn't pay enough for us.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of our career, I think.
That was the highlight of our career, turning down Freddie Starr.
That's something I hadn't really considered, appearing on television. But if the chance came, yes. Yes, it would be a new dimension.
I am scared of heights a bit. I think I could get over it though.
The circus is, it's a bit boring, isn't it, really?
All green and slimy with googly eyes. Googly eyes and little thingies that go up in the air with round bits on the end. Antennae. Yeah, with a spaceship.
I don't believe in aliens, really. I don't believe in strange people and strange creatures and strange anything, because God wouldn't create anything that's not perfect and that's abnormal and strange.
No, I don't believe there's alien life on this planet. I believe there's something, but what? We don't know. But I believe there's something that we've not been told about that.
What do you mean if aliens existed? Aliens do exist. Everybody knows aliens exist.
I think if aliens existed, I would think they're about that small. Some of them, these are the good ones, that small, and they have quite a big head, and they're very good at sums, and they have small legs and arms.
I've no idea what aliens would look like. They could look like anything. There might just be a ball of gas, or an idea, or a particular coloured light.
The whole conspiracy thing about aliens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why on earth would they visit us to fly around in some farmer's back garden in the back end of Beyond in Suffolk to just bugger off again. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And the whole thing about UFOs in the sky is just beyond me.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
What does it stand for?
I can't remember. Something. What is it?
An unidentified flying object. No, I've never seen one of those. I don't even know what one is.
So anything that you don't identify that flies past you is a UFO, isn't it? So basically, if it's a bird that you don't recognise, what's that? You get the book out, you can't identify it. That was a UFO, wasn't it?
No, you're being silly.
I've seen a UFO at a time when UFOs were being sighted in Lancashire. People were saying they had flying saucers going over the rooftops in a suburb of Bolton. And one news reporter claimed to have taken a photograph, but whether it was a genuine photo is another thing.
I came beginning of May in 1984 because it's a beautiful planet. You can see it from quite far. It looks very attractive.
It's not as striking, the difference that people expect when they ask, how different is it than home? I mean, you hate to lapse into this whole stereotype about how the English people are who live around me.
We have radionic equipment, which we call spiritual energy radiators, which have been in operation now for over 30 years. Every unselfish action is potentized by spiritual energy radiators.
You have here like shopping centers, which are like community centers nowadays. You have people on Saturday take their children to shopping center, like probably that's one of the elements of care and community programs they have now. They develop, strong enough medication so they can keep you quiet and you can just walk around and look at the bright, shiny things.
Yeah.
Makes you happy.
I mean, they make these models of aliens. I mean, how can they make models of aliens when they've never ever seen aliens? You know what I mean? Is that is that a fuss?
Yeah, but
but is it?
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
you're allowed to have that imagination, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, how can they mould an alien when they've not seen an alien?
Well, if somebody asks you what's an alien look like...
Well, I couldn't tell them because I don't know, because I've never seen one.
If they say, right, what do you think it looks like?
Well, again, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't you go at saying, I think they might look like this, or...
Well, they could be 2 foot tall.
Well, I think a lot of the portrayal of aliens comes from people who say they've seen aliens or they've been beamed up by aliens. Some of these stories people come out with.
Do you think they are stories, or do you think they're true?
There's no doubt in my mind that these people have had an experience.
No, I think that's nonsense, to be honest. I think people have either had too much to drink or they've just got very imaginative imaginations.
I reckon they've been on some sort of wacky-backy type stuff, I reckon, if they're saying they've been abducted by it. So
they glow in the dark,
The first few months in this country, I had to learn that you do not kiss everybody to say hello. And I did with the postman. I opened the door, there was the postman, I gave him a kiss on his cheek twice or whatever. And he was absolutely shocked.
I loved the weather here. And I know that sounds crazy because everyone always complains about the weather here. Oh, it's very temperate. Living in the city, you hardly ever have a freeze. And when you do have snow, it's pretty and it melts when it hits the ground, which is ideal.
Yeah, I reckon there's quite a few of them roaming around the planet at the moment. And
Well, I think just the opposite. To be honest, I don't think at this particular time aliens do not exist. Until someone comes up with the proof that they are existing.
There's a lot of proof that they exist on other planets, isn't there?
It may not be kind of like we might be looking at sort of,
other looking at things in other dimensions, other planes. Doesn't have to be travelling through long distances, things like the elves and the fairies.
Wacky people. Wacky people. Real strange.
This is home, everything is a bit upside down, but that's the way it is.
But it's becoming level.
I've learned that it's very important to be polite.
Yes.
You have to remember to say certain amount of thank yous and sorries. You have to say sorry to people you shouldn't really say. You walk on the street and there's a person walking in front of you.
Yes.
And suddenly those two people perform a dance saying sorry, and you don't know which way to move.
Yes.
I think that was something which I felt a bit amused by that.
Yes. Mainly, I just watched Jeremy Paxman.
Now, as to whether they visited us or not, recently, I couldn't tell you. They might have. Who's to say they ain't here now?
My theory is we came from another planet.
It's just pants. I don't believe in it.
Who would win the 100 meters? Obvious.
Yeah. I could win sort of the first 30 metres.
Yeah, right.
No, I couldn't.
No, you couldn't.
And then it'd be you.
No, you couldn't win the first half a metre.
Okay, as you say, Patrick's the one who's much more
You could be wearing
competitive.
running shoes.
That's actually rude.
Whoopsie.
Personally, I find it so much easier to run with somebody than on my own.
It is by far the best form of social.
Oh yeah, I really love it. Wife hates it, I love it.
What about a mile? Who'd win in a mile?
Patrick.
I would win in a mile.
If you didn't get distracted.
If I didn't get distracted.
Yeah.
No.
I think your mind fitness is more important.
Mind and body fitness.
Mental fitness is more important than your body fitness.
Running is a mind thing. It is a mind thing.
It is a mind thing.
It's not a case of just putting one foot in front of the other. It is a mind thing. If you haven't got the frame of mind to run that day, that time, that minute, you're only one step away from a walk. And that is it.
That's a good point.
Excuse me, could I interview you on your experience of running?
It's exhausting. I get a bit red and sweaty and hot, very hot. And I find at times I get sort of chafing. That's quite uncomfortable.
When the Jane Fonda workout video has been on, I have actually joined in once or twice, but at my age now, I've gone a bit stiff.
We used to go and dive off about 40-foot cliffs straight into the sea. It didn't worry us. Now I wouldn't even go within 10 feet of the cliff. But there you are.
Just go back to sports quickly.
Mhm.
Did you ever do sports to impress the opposite sex at all?
No, I wouldn't want to impress the opposite sex with sport because I think they just spoils us.
The first thing really was, when I first started climbing, was to try and impress ladies. And besides that, all the women you do meet down here are basically hairy baboons, they're not my type, unfortunately.
And legs down for power. So hand first, bang. Faster with the hand, Ruth, faster with the hand. But that doesn't mean fast with legs as well. Fast hand first. Watch.
Pause and fast hand. That's it.
It's been lots of fun doing this. I enjoy it. Really, really hoping to one day get quite good at this, but I don't know if it'll happen. I'm getting too fat, really. Oh dear.
When you're getting swing through the air, like you don't know where you're at and you're trying to like find where you are, but he's got complete control of your body. Yeah, that move is really painful on your socket of your shoulder because he really pulls at it, and when you land, it's painful on your.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he lands on the floor, so I still got control of him.
You feel a bit like dizzy afterwards. I went fly fishing once. I caught a 7-pound blue bottle. I tried it, but I got bored. Just sat there waiting for something to happen. Nothing. A bit more. I'd like a bit more activity, like than fishing.
Well, every time you go fishing, you never know what you're going to catch, and every bite you get, it could be something different. I mean, just caught a perch, which is only a little thing. Spiky perch.
Good. A few more. Distance. Pass feet. Keep the distance nicely. Good. Change direction. Good. Holding blades as well. Make sound for power. Low line parry. Set team. Riposte. Cease riposte. Cart riposte. Fast hand. Parry, 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 parry. Nice hit.
We can get to some interesting places doing this. Most people don't get to see these places, but which is good. It gets you away from other people into the great outdoors. Oh, right, okay. It's just a long reach and see if I can get to the top. Ooh. Okay then. See what we can do this time. Oh.
Well, there's been a few times I've fished with one where I haven't had any bites all day. For a couple of times I've been you against the fish, basically. But today's been good, which is very unusual because it's been so cold. But obviously they're hungry.
Hands are getting sweaty already. Getting high as well. Oh dear. I hope I'm not gonna. Ooh, foot slip.
Sometimes I'm competitive and sometimes I'm not, but quite a lot I do quite like to be on the side that wins, but if I'm not, I'm just cool with it, sort of thing.
Well, you're getting better.
Yeah, I'm getting better. At the moment, I think I'm cool with losing.
You just describe what move you're going to do and then do it. And then tell me where to, because I don't want to get in the way. So.
Okay, there's well, he's gonna land over there, so be careful. Go back. Extending him. Hold on high. Tight. Okay.
The last game I played with you, you weren't very happy that you lost.
Yeah, and that was quite a long time ago.
Well, you didn't take it well that you'd lost.
I didn't take it that well, but I took it all right.
I'm not getting enough exercise. I used to go swimming, but I've not got the time to do it there. I just can't be bothered. I used to like swimming, but I've packed that in.
Well, the difference between cats and dogs. Cats don't wag their tail like a dog, and yes, they do. Sometimes they do. They don't go. Oh no, they don't do that. And they don't sit and go. And they don't fetch balls as well as dogs.
One's got a waggy tail and a cold nose, and the claws are like totally contracted all the time, whereas the other one contract their claws and it's got sharper teeth and pointed ears.
Which one's which?
The cats are the ones with contracted jaws and sharp teeth and the sharp pointed ears.
Excuse me. I think I'm an oddity. I've got a foot in both camps, really, and I appreciate either animal for very different qualities.
I like dogs better than cats, though.
I don't.
They seem to be more friendly somehow. Dogs like greet you, whereas cats just sit. They can sleep for so long. No.
Cats can appear to be lazy, but I don't think they are.
They have big claws, like bears, and they look like bears.
They just sit about all day and get fed and go meow, 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 meow.
I find cats, they claw the carpet a lot. They're a complete nuisance, actually.
Meow, meow, meow. I think you get more out of a dog in response.
Well, they're more interesting, aren't they?
I think they're thicker than cats, personally.
Do you?
I do.
Meow, 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 meow. And I go, shut up.
I used to be a chaser myself, but I mean, it's about what?
It's all about competitiveness, you know what I mean? You see these blokes and like, it's like I said, they've been let off a lead. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
and
like,
then, like,
it's like
it's just more than life, man.
Watching hounds after a hare, you know what I mean?
I've been bitten by dogs, I've been bitten by cats, I've been bitten by... you name it, I'll claim it.
Once I was walking past a house and the door suddenly flew open and a dog with a head the size of Albania jumped out, and its teeth were an inch away from my face and its mouth was so big I could have lived inside that mouth quite comfortably, and I was nearly killed.
I've been chased by a Great Dane, a slavering big thing, and it frightened me. I've been bitten by a beagle. I've been chased by an old English sheepdog, which was, I would say that was a springboard into me becoming a Christian.
Mm. You always say dogs come sniffing at your private parts.
Do I?
That's one thing you always say.
Well, they told me they're not, that they're just being affectionate.
Dogs wag their tails to get the smell of their farts away, and the cat just walks around with its tail in the air.
Dogs I like very much because of their great intelligence and loyalty generally, and just so animated and, you know, great chums.
I don't think I've ever had fleas. I think the closest I ever got was scabies, and that was quite bad enough. So you would entirely cover your body from head to toe with this alcohol solution, and there was always this sort of nagging doubt that some part of your anatomy would catch light like a fuse, and it would just be an enormous blue puff.
I think the best thing to do is to put on some flea powder, which you get from the vet. But it's probably not a good idea to have a good scratch, because that makes it red and raw and a bit rough and everything.
You know, I've never had any breed that's been a kind of a pampered, you know, pooch. You know.
They breed these mutant dogs, don't they, and give them awards for how mutated they look. And if it's a perfect mutant, it's got a pedigree. But if you crossbreed it with another mutant, it's called a mongrel.
Most pedigree dogs, to get them perfect, they've got things wrong with them. It's either the bull terrier, the bulldog can hardly breathe because they bred into them, that flattened face. It's a bulldog, innit? And a lot of the breeds have suffered when they show a cross.
They look ridiculous with silly bowls. Looks stupid.
I'm
Certainly a loyal companion. But I have to say I've been let down a lot too in my life. I might be very loyal, but I do, like my father said before me. He said, you trust everybody once. And that's what I do. I trust everybody once, no matter who they are. So I'm loyal to the point of disloyalty.
Cats, on the other hand, they are the clever ones. They give humans nothing.
I'm not a cat person. No, they're not loving enough, and they hiss a bit, and they don't do anything. They just wee all over the garden and leave brown stains all over the grass and just make a nuisance of themselves.
I've defecated outside, of course I have. You know what I mean?
If you step in dog mess, then it's not very hygienic, and it's not very it's just not nice.
You kind of get an antennae. The slightest thing, kind of, you know what's going on over there? Sidestep it. And if you can't sidestep it, make sure you come through it.
Because at the end of the day, cats, when they go to the toilet, they clean up and they cover up after them. And that has got to be a sign of higher intelligence.
That's a dirty, filthy business, and that ought to be stopped totally.
I think dogs are more, for a start, I think they smell more. Whereas a cat, you can leave a cat to it. Whereas with a dog...
Yeah, but if you've got a burglar coming in your house, at least a dog makes a noise.
Yeah, but you could throw the cat at the burglar.
That's a silly thing to say. Dogs are more interesting. That's the end of it.
No, it's not the end of it.
We'll just have to agree to disagree then.
And I've got a lovely smile, as my mum says. So, I look good for my age too.
No. No, I think No.
The stigmas in most species of Nymphaceae, the stigma, which is the female organ, actually gets warm by 3 to 6 degrees centigrade and emits a smell, a pheromone. And the pheromone attracts the insects. And the insects shush what?
The phone.
But the phone's interrupting me, not me the phone.
Yes, but...
Do you want me to stop?
I heard, through the body odor from others, we realize if we are genetically matching or not. And unfortunately, the way nature works is of odor rather than perfume, you know. So the way it is, I'm sorry, I can't change it, so I smell and I like to smell people as well. If I smell you in the street, don't be offended.
I went to an animal rescue charity in a very deprived part of northwest London. And I took one look at her, and something happened. It was one look, absolutely one look.
I didn't really like him actually, to be honest, at the beginning, because I thought it was a bit of a sort of know-it-all.
Oh
yeah. But the way he ate a sandwich. That was it really, and you could see his stomach. So yeah, that's why I quite liked him first of all.
You've got to be confident and optimistic. If you're pessimistic and always on the back foot, I don't think you'd get anywhere. So, you know, a bit of the old cockiness, you know, I think they'll like a bit of that.
I am sexy all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Well, which part of you?
Oh, all of
exactly?
me, of course. You know, that's... So I feel like that when I get out in the mornings, you know, I feel very sexy. Most of the times you're not there, but they're not that, you know, can't help that, can he? But do you feel sexy?
No, don't I?
Well, it is early, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Of course I'm sexy. I can use my voice. I can tell you I love you. I can whisper this on your ear 100 million times and you will scream for more, more and more. I have a great smile, which you will never find anywhere else in this world.
It sounds corny now, but you used to always get the same chat line I say. You know what it is? You know the best part of your body? It's a bit in between the top of your head and the bottom of your feet. All of you. I say, you're lovely. I said, I've seen some lovely lasses in my time, but I said, but you must have been right ahead of the queue in the audition with the good looks. But when I was saying all these things, I had my fingers crossed.
Biggest turn on for me. Lovely bottoms. They must have a nice bottom. I don't know what it is. I'm not too bothered about the front bit, but the bottom bit I do quite like.
I'd never worried about size or shape. I've lived with mongrels for half my life. And suddenly here was I, head over heels. In love or what?
It's lovely being in love. It makes you all twinkly and it makes you all happy. And sometimes I can't think straight, do you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of him.
If you're looking for a disco dancing spring rabbit, then you would find me a bit boring. But if you are the kind of person who likes to sit around and moan a lot, then you could say I'm a very good companion.
No, actually, he's not too bad. He's not that unsavoury a person. I think he's all right.
Thank you.
I'm really intolerant.
I'm not that unsavoury a person.
The thing is with you, your mother did everything for you. And then when you come up to me, you're already bloody useless.
Obey, that's what the vicar
No,
said.
I didn't. When we got married, I did not obey.
Obey.
No, I didn't obey.
Obey.
No.
I have lots of trapped air that has to get out somehow. And that's really bad when you're sleeping with someone. And methane gas is lighter than air, so you end up on the ceiling. And so that's why I choose not to sleep with anybody, and that's why I don't have a partner for a long time. It's all not my fault, it's the methane gas fault.
I've got about, wait, let me count. 19 boys fancy me, but I don't fancy them. I actually fancy Roo and he fancies me because you're pretty, that's why. I'm really gonna get in for that.
I used to be very romantic when I was younger. I think everybody who's younger is very romantic, you know. Fall in love, thinking about the partner, doing different things to them in your head.
Romantic? No, not really.
Yeah, you
No,
are. You
nonsense.
are. Really, really, really.
Nonsense. No, I don't think so.
I think you are. You're very thoughtful. You are.
You never said that before.
Oh, I'm not on tape then, am I?
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit romantic. I like to
Romanticise?
lavish gifts upon my my wife, and and I do like to treat her to things that I know that she likes.
Trip down Tesco's.
Trip down Tesco's. Yeah, she loves all that stuff.
What about me?
Are you romantic?
You tell me.
No, you're not.
Aren't I?
No.
I am.
No, you're not.
You're just saying it now.
No, you're not. I'm not.
I am actually.
I do believe in love at first sight, but I'm not saying it does anyone any good. What happens after that? That's as much as I'm saying.
There you go. We've got three, you see, but there's one I can never remember her name. She does a lot of riding. I'm trying to think of a flipping name now. What's she called? Well, let's just call her Rosie for today. Yeah, Rosie. Good old Rosie.
Oh! I've pulled a muscle.
The best effective medicine is... I have no idea.
Yeah, you see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. I mean, I'm always going to the doctors, and you get there and you find out, well, there's queues to wait all the time, isn't there? Most of the time, and then, well, I mean, doctors a lot of the time waiting in queues, and, well, I mean, most of the time you spend most of your time in the doctors waiting, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm one of these that goes to the doctor when it's generally necessary. I mean, I am one of these that goes for every pill, potion and tablet that there is. You know, if I know what's the matter with me, I mean, I expect the doctor to do something about it. I won't be fobbed off by them.
Doctors have always scared me because when I was born I nearly died. I had 50% chance of living when I was born, and was in a little incubator, and all my eyes were covered and I was yellow, which was awful.
I rarely go to the doctor. The last time I did go, he thought I'd died because I hadn't been for such a long time.
Doctors and I are great friends. I owe a lot to doctors. They've kept me alive. I've seen a lot of them. They've come, they've prodded me from top to bottom, in and out, every end, every part of my body. And they've cut me open, stitched me up, and done a pretty good job on me all over.
I'm the kind of person that's sort of a bit of a hypochondriac, and if I get a little sort of nagging pain or something, I automatically think it's something really serious. But then I never go to the doctor, really.
And you never shut up about it either.
I know, it's just kind of like typical bloke, I suppose, where...
It's not.
Should we rave about it now?
Well, it's these heart palpitations I get. You see, you never know when they're going to come, and they just... You got your heart jumping about all over the place.
Can't do with sputum, and I can't do very much with feet. I can't do anything with anybody's feet. I can't have all I'm doing anything with my own, and sputum really makes my stomach turn over. You know. I don't mind vomit.
I developed a funny lockjaw. You know, the dribble was coming out the side of my mouth. I couldn't speak, I couldn't chew. I just wanted to die. Took one look at me and said, "Oh, that's allergic reaction." He gave me my antidote, and immediately my mouth just went back to normal.
That's what I got now. I've got throat swelling now. I've got the tablets for that at the moment as well.
I've took a lot of tablets all my life, about 23,000, and I'm still alive. But at the end of the day, I think without them I'd have been dead.
I once had my head slammed in a door. That was good. I was saying goodbye to my friend, and somebody slammed the door on my head, and it was my birthday, and I had to have 5 stitches in my head, so I've got them as well.
I mean, I could have had a DVT, couldn't I, laid in bed all that time, but I mean, as I said, they gave me an anticoagulant. Anyway, I'm here to tell the story, so there's people worse off than I am, and I can walk about all right.
I remember having a severe cold which didn't shift, and I shared a flat with a couple of vet students who dosed me with Famil syrup, the main active ingredient of which I believe is creosote. So I spent several days smelling like a fence post, but it did the job.
You see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. There was big problems with my eyes at one stage. I went in about my eyes on a lot of times and had to go to see specialists. And you see that, but what they do is they clamp your head in a big clamp, and they want to bounce things on your eyeballs.
I had an eye operation quite a few years ago. I flew very quickly after I'd had the eye operation.
Well, you can't, I couldn't be doing with that, and so I'm pulling my head out of this clamp all the time.
And it was a real concern. I shouldn't have flown because it put too much pressure behind the eye.
That's another occasion when they told me I could just go on my own way. So I got thrown out of there as well.
I've fallen for a nurse, yeah. I fell for a nurse once. Little blonde, beautiful little blonde lady. She was quite nice, she was. Yes. Used to travel to Birmingham to see her on my old motorbike.
I had a blood test the other day, but I do not like needles. I don't like needles at all. I look away when I'm having an injection.
I'm fine with injections into any part of my body, but I won't have them in my mouth. And the reason is that I've
always been completely the opposite. I love injections in my mouth.
Really?
I really quite like them. In fact, the more sort of intrusive the dentistry, the better I like it, really.
Well, I'm not keen on dentists now. I was the last in Britain to be gassed.
They didn't use enough gas, did they?
No, I mean, I did come round. But that's when they first started phasing gas out, because they said gas is too dangerous.
The big black mask. Oh. You can see it coming towards your face, and the smell of the rubber, and having all my bottom teeth filled without anaesthetic. Dentists. Just brutal. Really brutal.
Dr. Bewers, he was very good, that boy. I mean, I think he was the first one that told me, some of the many things that was wrong with me. I had a problem with the inner ear and asthma, what I had for a long time.
Got a small scar on my forehead where a child threw a brick at me. Well, it seemed like a brick at the time, but... And I've got a scar here.
I have no scars whatsoever anywhere. Have I? In fact, you count that as a scar. It's only a little.
Well, it is a scar, yeah.
Well, I don't count it as a scar, so.
Do you not?
No.
I've got a scar on my elbow, and a scar on my other elbow, and a scar on my knee.
On my face, my legs, my stomach.
And a scar on my other knee, my tongue, my head.
My arms, wrists, hands, everywhere. There is no one part on my body that does not have a scar.
I don't think I've got any other scars. Not physical ones, mental ones, obviously. I've got a lot of them, but you can't see them because they're inside my brain.
I was injured badly once. Somebody kicked me in the forehead. Being very young, I got up and carried on and didn't think, has it done me much damage? For all I know, some of that damage may still be there. May still affect some of the things I do and some of the things I say.
I've broken all my toes, I've got a dodgy knee, I've busted both my ankles and bent my feet back round so they're next to my shins, broken my hand and my wrist, my collarbones 3 times, bashed my head, knackered my back. And it's all been worth it.
It's great. I love smiling, I love being happy and jovial, telling jokes, being the butt end of jokes, but hey, now I can do it with a mouthful of teeth, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I've had crabs, they were good.
They got out of hand, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Ooh, hang on. Won't let anyone stick a thermometer.
Now it's a lot of talk, is what I find. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
If there's something that annoys you, something that gets on your nerves, something that is the one thing that sets you off, that is a pet hate.
Pet hates. What I hate, pet hates. I don't hate too much. I'm annoyed by certain things, so can we go for pet annoyances? Yeah, instead of hates. Yeah, that's better.
If someone who's a noisy eater.
Yes.
That really annoys me.
Like that, Joan. Yes, like that.
Oh,
That's annoying. The pair of yous are annoying.
Very nice, Joan.
Please, you enjoyed it.
Yes, it was
Yes.
very nice.
At the expense of our ears. Frustrating the life out of her.
I burst a couple of blood vessels there. I don't like that
Yes,
at all.
Joan, that's a pet hate.
Already
Doing
got
it
plenty.
again?
Yeah, annoyances. Yeah, what annoys you? You. Okay, fine. I think that wraps up that question. Can we move on to the next one now?
No, let's elaborate. Let's find out why I find you annoying.
It is very self-righteous, actually.
No.
You
No,
are.
I'm
You
not
always
having
think
that.
you're right.
No,
I like to
no.
get the last word.
No, that's not right.
Well, I think you do think you're right.
No, I've changed a lot.
But there you're doing it now. saying I'm wrong, so you're right.
Well, I'm hardly going to say, oh yes, I am self-righteous.
Not in a horrible way, though.
Oh, what's a nice way of being
I
self-righteous?
don't know, it's
then?
just you. I'm just used to you being like that.
Right. Self-righteous? No. No.
What do you think about speed cameras?
Eating?
Speed cameras.
Sorry.
Speed cameras.
Nope. Don't get it. I
Do
do.
you know what speed cameras are?
Cucumbers.
I don't drive myself, but if everybody obeyed the rules, the traffic would go much better and everybody would get there quicker. Like on the motorways, this happened travelling back from Snowdon. We were sticking to the rules and regulations of 40 miles per hour and there were still cars coming past and I was shouting and cheering to the speed camera saying, "Get that one, get that one."
Speed cameras.
Bees, honey.
No, speed cameras. You know, to catch cars if they're going to... Yeah, speed cameras.
No.
Because I can't stand listening to the radio, because the radio I find really irritating. I can't stand just having loads of noise in my head. I hate that. I just like to have silence in the morning, and if there's any noise, it's just me talking to myself.
Sometimes when you're talking, I feel I'm coming in a bit too quick before you finish the sentence, and I'm thinking,
We all do that.
I shouldn't have done
And
that.
the other thing is,
and
I find
I hate
myself
myself for
saying
doing
the words
it.
for you. Say the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like people breathing down my neck. No, I don't like anybody breathing down my neck. And it makes the hairs on my back of my neck stand up if I can feel somebody breathing down my neck. Get back.
Drunk people. I hate them. They behave like a gang of wild animals who are not animals. They're loud, they shout, birds fly off. They're singing hip-hop song that doesn't make sense to anybody. And they're wearing these white trainers and walking like orangutans normally, yeah? The hands is forward, the bend, and they're going like...
It's just like if you're driving down the motorway, now they sling bleeding cocaines out the window at 60 and 70 mile an hour.
Do they?
Yeah, that's happened to me 2 or 3 times in the last couple of months. All of a sudden some practice goes, slings a coke can out the window and it goes bouncing along and goes past your window about 70 mile an hour. And hope as you're driving along that the thing don't bounce on your motor, innit? Because you end up with dents everywhere. You end up with hammer finish. Hammer finish motor.
The best thing you can do is leave traces of poo in the way, because they're actually not looking at all on the ground, they're looking at the girls around them. They step on it, they walk with it, then starting to smell. So they blame each other and they look at the sole of the shoes and that's it. They've been hit by us. It showed them that you can be dangerous, but in a smelly way.
This is a funny question. What do you think your most unappealing habit is, both of you?
Energetic.
Unappealing habit.
Unassuming habits.
Unappealing.
I've no.
Sort of nasty habits. If you've got any bad habits.
None.
None.
Oh, no, we haven't any bad habits.
No.
Bad habits. When people say something, I pretend I haven't heard them, so they repeat it again. That's a bad
What
habit.
for?
Just do it.
Dave's got some bad habits. He goes like that with his jaw. Really annoys me. Like,
Oh, Dougie does this? I mean, what good's that, anybody?
well, I don't know what Dave does. It's as if like his jaw's locked and he has to go.
God.
My habit is, and this
I
has
do
been
that.
explained to me by my children as well.
Yeah, this has been
When I
explained to me
say-
by my children.
When I say a joke, I go on to
Explain
explain.
it.
What's that?
Somebody's flushed the toilet upstairs.
I have a few bad habits. I tend to scratch a lot, and I also, unknown to me, I tend to pass wind a lot when I'm in public,
but that doesn't really worry me because you've got to pass wind or you might blow up.
What's that mean?
Bad smells.
Yeah, that's natural, isn't it?
Not that much isn't natural.
You've got that many bad habits. I don't know if we've got all evening to discuss them.
I don't think I have I? Hey? What bad habits have I got? Pardon you.
Pardon me.
Yeah, you can't not do it, can you? It's not like biting your nails, which you just do.
You don't have to force it so much.
Don't force it, just...
You do. Like that.
It's not true.
I hate spiders and spiders and spiders.
As I say, I think we're being used by people. Our tolerance is being used by people for their own ends. I was most annoyed with the election of the last Labour Party. We weren't really bothered about what they did.
I think the first
egg
came first.
I think
to give birth, so the chicken could come out, and then the chicken can have
But
more
where
eggs.
would the eggs come from?
Oh yeah, but if you think about it, an egg is going to become a chicken, but it's being but then the chicken's going to would be an egg. So if you think about chickens after the eggs, I think egg comes first.
Yeah, but maybe the chicken might have come from another animal, like a rooster. It's
There's sterile waters somewhere, and the volcanic chemicals and all that have started life, and then we've evolved from that. What I do find hard is the fact that we've actually evolved from something so minuscule, like so microscopic, to the dinosaurs, to us.
I think that we come from some kind of chemical explosion that caused some form of life to be created, and that we eventually slithered out of the sea, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually we're going to be extinct.
I think we are a process of evolution. I think we are not the top of the pinnacle. We are just a branch, I think.
Yeah, I'm completely conscious of the fact that I'm actually just a cloud of potential, of which primarily water molecules. If you looked at me across time, you would see a cloud of water molecules form and momentarily become Brian and then move off again.
I can't bring myself around to thinking we came from the sea.
No, I don't think great-great-granddad was a fish.
Slimy then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure that we came from the sea, most definitely, because it just seems, when I get into water, I naturally want to start frolicking, and I think that must mean that so we came out of the sea and crawled onto land for some reason. I don't know why, and it's a shame. I think it'd be great if we all went back to being aquatic.
I don't know. I think we're more likely to have originated from on land because we haven't got we've got gills, haven't we? But maybe,
Well, they're always looking for this missing link, aren't they? And they've never found it yet. The connection between us and monkeys. I mean, what sort of idiot wants to prove he's come from a monkey?
The difference between me and a monkey would be mainly that monkeys, they live in the jungle and I live in Catford.
There's a train of thought that says that we came to this planet thousands, hundreds, millions, whatever, years ago, and in fact already did colonise this planet as an alien race.
I do incline to think maybe we did start from another planet, maybe we did come from another planet.
You know, I'd love to see aliens or something similar on our planet. I think it'd be great to see how we kind of interact with them, whether they'd be similar to us or not very similar or something like that.
Would they be good golfers?
Humans were created by this giant cosmic cow licking a stone, and as it licked this stone, the humans rolled off.
Looking at birds evolved from dinosaurs. Yeah, probably could have done, because they did actually have wings, didn't they? Some dinosaurs years and years ago, didn't they? So it's the size of the dinosaur, and how do you get something like a sparrow or a little wren or something like that from something that's absolutely ginormous, this huge, great sort of dinosaur?
I don't know really. I've never really given it much thought.
Yeah, where'd you get these questions from?
Well, your evolution, that's all a load of rubbish, isn't it? It's not true, is it? It's a load of rubbish. How can you possibly evolve a set of wings? It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, I'd like a set of wings. I'd love a set of wings. In fact, if I could have anything, I'd definitely have a set of wings, but it wouldn't matter how many times I jumped off a tall building, I'd never grow wings. And even if I jumped off a tall building and then my child jumped off a tall building and his child jumped off a tall building, and we did that forever and ever and ever, there is not the slightest chance that wings would grow out of my back.
We all started off much the same kind of thing. We all were waddling along on our bellies to begin with. And we grew arms and heads and legs, and some of us got up and walked, and some of us stayed down crawling around. No, I'm glad I've evolved the way I am. I wouldn't like to have been further back in the evolutionary scale.
I think we've evolved to our full potential. I think we have.
Possibly.
It's hard to...
Maybe not on an intellectual basis, because
I don't know. It's hard
to
see how you can improve further, isn't it?
We'd be able to do some good tricks if we had a couple more legs. I'm sure we'd be able to work out some new stunts for the show, so that could be a positive advantage, definitely at this stage.
Depends whose legs they were, doesn't it, right?
I think, obviously we'd adapt in whatever way if we had extra legs, but...
We were, wouldn't it? If you had 6 legs, where would your arse be?
Yeah.
I don't know whether physiologically we're developing.
The only thing I can think of is that because we have such stressed lives, we're much more aware of exercising to release the stress, and so we're getting more toned bodies than we might have had.
I've got as far as I'd like to evolve as I am at the moment.
I'm searching, you know what I mean?
Aren't we all?
Maybe one day I'll just wake up and think, I have evolved.
One day we think you got there, the next minute you get run over.
That's it, game over. You know what I mean?
I regard myself as a kind of ego-driven space-time meat vehicle, and I'm in the centre as the driver, trapped inside the folly of the monkey ego. But I accept that's limitations, but I know that the truth is that it's actually just a space-time version of a larger hyperdimensional information field.
Oh, jeez.
I just think, at the end of the day, it's about genetic transport. Basically, we're just hauling genomes along in a bag, which is our body, from century to century. I think that's what it's all about, folks, you know?
It's noticeable we don't get cold winters anymore. They're just wet. So, we might survive a little bit.